What's up, issue? For today's video, we have a Cloyster sweep. Cloyster is a pretty awesome Pokemon. It has a lot of sweeping potential as well with its ability and the moves that it uses. It is a water and ice type Pokemon. It's got Shell Armor, Skill Link, and Overcoat. Skill Link being a very, very good ability, especially for some of the moves that it knows. It's got a nice defensive stat too, which allows it to be able to set up, and it's got reasonable offensive stats in its attack and special attack. Today, I wanted to do a mix of a physical and a special set too. I did that with a couple of my last Pokemon sweeps, and it was pretty fun. We got a crazy couple of battles here. I really hope you enjoy them, and let's get into it. We have a theme team upload a little bit later on too. I've got a couple more of these Pokemon sweeps to come out that I got last week, so I hope you're enjoying them. If you want to support them, drop that like there. What do you think of Cloyster? Let me know. I'd love to hear what you think about it. I think it's a really cool Pokemon. Always liked it. I do miss that it doesn't have Clamp anymore too. I like that move. So, battle here. This one is, I think their name was Giovanni. We got a random battle here, and we've got this Muck that was setting up minimizers. Now, this was actually no joke because I couldn't really do a lot here. As you got to see, I put Sticky Web on the field, but then every time I went for Memento, I couldn't land an attack on it at all. So I was in a big predicament here. I just couldn't do anything, you know? So Smeagol's going for its Mementos, and I couldn't drop Muck's stats at all. So I was like, man, I don't know what I'm gonna do here. Now, this first battle, I was generally trying to get a Cloyster sweep, and then the later battle, I actually wasn't even going for it at all. So I just thought I'd put both versions in there. So we're gonna go into Ninetales now because there's Snow Way out, and Ninetales is gonna be setting up the snow here. Now, that was purely for Cloyster. However, I thought, I want to see if I can give a sub to Cloyster because this Muck has a lot of, it's got max evasion, so whether or not I'm going to be able to even land an attack here is going to be a mission just to land one attack right. And Muck has got a lot of natural bulk to it. And here we go into the mighty Cloyster. Okay, so I was using my Pro Controller, right? My old one. And it sort of got a bit greasy, and I slipped down and pressed Terra Blast ground, and I lost that battle. I was so upset about that, because I only had to press Icicle Sphere, and it slipped, so... it happens, right? It happens. So I was incredibly salty because I should have won that battle. Right, even after getting around all those evasions too. I think I finished him off with a disrespectful move, but you know, there was the set anyway. Next battle here, I was using my Shelter Evolution team. Now, I have got this one up on YouTube already, this whole team and all the battles that I did with it. So I had this Shelter setting up the snow, and we had a Meowscarter. So Meowscarter was a pretty good counter for this team. So I thought I'll give it a shot with Cloyster and see what happens. Let's get it. Alright, hope you enjoyed both those Pokemon sweeps. The first one we're just not going to talk about because I should have got that. Let's have a look at both sets anyway. So the first set, obviously a physical Cloyster, Shell Smash, is a very good Pokemon, you know. It's very, very easy to get a sweep with this Pokemon. You sort of just have to do it at the right time and know what it can and can't do. And it'll be a great mid to late game sweeper. So this was my set here. We have Shell Smash, obviously, Icicle Sphere and Rock Blast, so they're going to hit 5 times each. And I like to run Drill Run on there. I like Drill Run for Steel-type Pokemon, and I also like it for Terra Ground too. So it did work out there very, very nicely against Dialga. Very, very nicely. Now, a lot of people do run White Herb on there. I ran King's Rock, but you can run White Herb if you like. That gets rid of the drops from Shell Smash, so there's nothing wrong with that. I just tried to troll a little bit with King's Rock, but I found most of the time after a Shell Smash, I would be one-shotting them anyway, unless it was something like insanely bulky. This one was a max attack and max speed set too. Next set here we got is the Special Cloyster. You got to see it then. It would actually work pretty well. It's a lot more luck-based, though, for sure, because I've got to carry low accuracy moves to make up for that bit of power shift difference between 95 to 85, and I'm not relying on 5 hits either. I'm using Shell Armor. So I've got Terra Ground, so I can set up against an electric type with Shell Smash, Hydro Pump, Blizzard, and Terra Blast Ground with Modest Nature and Max Speed. So there is both of my Cloyster sets. But the first one is a lot easier to do. The second one is more difficult, but if you've got some snow support, I believe it, you know, it definitely has a good chance there. But typically there are big special defensive walls that can counter that and the moves that I've got. It is good against stuff like Miraidon, which, you know, clearly goes for Electro Drift a lot of the time. And then you can go for Terra Blast and Shell Smash and then Terra Blast. It's actually pretty good for that. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Peace out.